Hello everybody and welcome to this fourth Saturday garden update for June. Here we are, it's a nice sunny day again and we've had lots of these lately. Here are all these, the lavender's got a few little flowers and these have just exploded into growth. Look at that one, it's sent out some more of those side shoots and I will have to prune those, otherwise they'll get too big. The hydrangea has sent out some flowers. The rusty nails that I threw around the base have had an effect. Some of them are purple this year, so that's looking nice. Here's the garden with all of these plants. Yes, some of them are looking a little dry. Yeah, I paused briefly then because a fly just buzzed me in the face while I was holding this phone. Never mind. Here's the sedums with still got its old flowers, so you can see how big it should get. Here we are. Over here, the spirea. Yes, the spirea is more or less finished with its flowering now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to prune all these old flowers off and then it'll send out another second flush. And look at this. All the way up there now, way above the height of the fence. Massive, massive response to being in such a large container now. Yes. I put a little sign on there. Here we are. Here it is. I will probably trim this in next spring, maybe about March, before it sends out its next year's leaves. Here we are in this garden. Got some Montbreche starting, so in the next video those will all be out, hopefully. Yeah, July is always the flower month. Here's the acers. This one's these light, the light red on the Jojo and the light green on this palmatum and dissectum. That's all the new growth. Here's the air layering I took from last year. This needs to go into a bigger pot, I think, now, because it has sort of reached the end of its growth, even when I'm watering. Probably this one as well. Yeah, I had to trim these branches a little bit back in the spring to stop them from drying out. But yes, I gave this white buddleia a trim, so it now looks nice and tall, same as the others. And there's lots, it just seems a lot more roomy here now. This hasn't made it, so this has just died. So I've got a bunch of soil in there. Here's a few more trees. The pigeon nest up in the tree had 2 babies in it. Those have now fledged. And I think the parent birds have come back and they're thinking about having another go. Here's all of these. These are very thirsty plants. These hebes, what I started my channel on. My first few videos I had these, lots of cuttings of these. These are all cuttings from just a few years ago. All my original ones died in that terrible frost we had in winter 22. So yes, luckily I kept the bloodline alive. Here's the runner beans. Good mixture of whites and reds. I think the white ones are Moonlight or White Emergos. One of those. I did just mix them a few years ago. But the red ones are from some of my neighbours, and those are all hybrids. They're all crossed with the white ones, but they're still red, even though they're hybrids. So yeah, I know they're hybrids because the runner beans inside are black beans. And here we are in the greenhouse. Noisy door. Inside here I've got all these peppers. Now these peppers, even just a few weeks ago, were not very big, but they have absolutely gone crazy, and they've even got flowers on the way in the middle. Now this is because I fed them a load of comfrey. Same with a lot of these other plants. I fed them a load of comfrey, and they've all just grown like crazy. I've got some more sedums here that I took as cuttings a little while ago. Don't know how long ago I took these as cuttings. They were down there on the floor for ages and ages, and I've had a good tidy up, just getting all this stuff up off the floor. I went for a bike ride this morning, and I took some buddleia cuttings. These ones are very, very light purple, but there's some with red stems, I think, at the front here, and they produced a huge, great big bloom, which is a very light purple bloom. So I'm definitely going to try and grow them. And there's a few others. These ones, these are from my dad's white buddleia, which also produce very large blooms. White. These are white ones though, and those are light purples. And over here, from my dad's champion globosa buddleia, are these cuttings. I've got several here, and they're doing very well. There's one there with a twin trunk, and then there's a nice singular one here, and another one here that splits into two as well. So yes, I've got plenty of buddleias, 2025 buddleias on the way. Hopefully this one here will take. This is fresh cuttings, so that was growing on the parent this morning, whereas these have had, I think, at least a month. I think they were even in the last video update, so they're doing very well. Unfortunately, what's not doing so well is all of this lot. Despite watering every few days, these buddleias just have not done that well. Those are fine. Those that are growing on the old stumps here, and one or two others, they're doing very well. But this heat, they get a lot of sun on this desk, and they just, yeah, they're just not happy. In the aviary, I've got loads of raspberry plants. They seem a lot more heat tolerant. There's a few over there that are struggling a bit, but no, they seem all right. Some of them. I've been, making lots of compost again, and you can see the little mounds where I've been burying fruit waste and hedge cuttings. I put a little. I tried to get rid of this compost. No, not this is a little water butt that I've buried, but I just dug a hole and then filled it largely with the clay that I dug up, in the hopes that I can get some frogs to come into it. And I have seen frogs sitting in there, but that water has gone a little bit like a pond. That is just clay and algae on there, and I don't know how safe it is for the frogs. It might be all right, but I don't know. Over here, just a few more tanukis. I've been using cable ties. This buddleia here, this is just a regular purple. There's a flower coming on the top, so we'll soon get to see what it is. I think it is just a regular purple variety though. There's this one here. This is the really nice one with the orange centre in the purple flowers. There's a flower coming up there, so we'll finally get to see what this is like. And that's it. I did actually make another frog pond area just down there. This is basically what the water butt was standing on, which was in the aviary. I think there's something in there. This one does seem a bit more successful because the water's nice and clear, and it is attracting things to it. There's a bee, even thinking about, oh, he's probably looking at making a nest under them sticks. Anyway, we'll soon find out. This Hebe's got a few flowers, I've just noticed. And there, that's it. That's the update for June. Thank you for watching.